Since the release of the first Bond film, Dr. No, in 1962, it's been a time-honored tradition for Bond girls to appear in bikinis. This is especially true in the earlier days of the film franchise. Join Factsverse as we explore Bond girl bikini photos that are completely uncensored. Ursula Andress. Not only was Ursula the first ever Bond girl to appear in a bikini, she was the first Bond girl ever. It was Ursula's bikini-clad appearance in 1962's Dr. No that set the stage for all of the many bikini-clad Bond girls that followed in her footsteps. Dr. No saw Ursula play the character of Honey Ryder, who stumbles upon James Bond while she's diving for shells at the beach. Little does she know that the island she's been diving around is home of the film's villain, whom Bond is on the island trying to track down. After their initial meeting, Honey Ryder accompanies James Bond throughout the rest of the film, and she remains scantily clad for the majority of her screen time. Dr. No was a big success, and many more James Bond films followed with many more bikini-clad Bond girls. But there will always be a special place in the hearts of fans for Ursula Andress, who was the very first to do it. Following her appearance in Dr. No, she went on to appear in another Bond film, but this time it wasn't in the franchise proper. She made an appearance in the 1967 parody film Casino Royale, which starred David Niven as James Bond and had a script that featured contributions from both Peter Sellers and Woody Allen. Peter and Woody also made appearances in the film, and Ursula played female lead Vesper Lynd. 1967's Casino Royale was partially inspired by the book of the same name, which was the very first James Bond book. The book was properly adapted into a canonical feature in 2006, and French actress Eva Green portrayed Vesper Lynd. Claudine Auger. The fourth James Bond film was a movie called Thunderball, which featured a great deal of underwater action. And it featured the beautiful French actress Claudine Auger in the role of Domino. And she could be seen sporting an incredibly sexy bikini during the movie. That bikini was a black one-piece that audiences couldn't keep their eyes off of. And Claudine's appearance is part of what made the film such a big commercial success. Claudine remains best known for her appearance in Thunderball, though she was previously the first runner-up in the 1958 Miss World contest. The majority of her other notable films were low-budget exploitation features like 1966's Triple Cross and 68's Anyone Can Play. Both of these films capitalized on Claudine's sexy appearance in Thunderball. She passed away in 2019, though audiences still gaze in awe at the actress in her one-piece black bikini when Thunderball comes on screen. Britt Ekland. By 1974, Roger Moore had replaced Sean Connery in the role of James Bond. While the actor had changed, the character's preference for bikini-clad women had not. The Man with the Golden Gun was the 9th Bond film, and it featured a stunning bikini-clad appearance from actress Britt Ekland, who played Bond girl Mary Goodnight. Specifically, the bikini Britt wore was a side-tie bikini, which was an incredibly popular type at the time. Ekland is a Swedish actress who also did some modeling, which inevitably led to her being the perfect choice to play a Bond girl. In addition to The Man with the Golden Gun, she also appeared in a few other notable films in the 70s. These included Get Carter and The Wicker Man. These roles paved the way for Britt to become a Bond girl, and her appearance as Mary Goodnight remains one of her most memorable. Another was the 1972 thriller What the Peeper Saw, where she played a stepmother being lusted after by her stepson. Before we tell you more, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Maud Adams. In addition to Britt Ekland's Mary Goodnight, The Man with the Golden Gun also featured Bond girl Andrea Anders. Another Swedish actress portrayed her, this time by Maud Adams. Like Ursula Andress, Maud is a rare actress who's appeared in 2 James Bond films, but hers were both films in the main franchise. In addition to The Man with the Golden Gun, Maud also made a small appearance in Octopussy. However, her appearance in The Man with the Golden Gun, which featured the actress rocking a white bikini, stands out more. Jill St. John. Audience members couldn't get enough of actress Jill St. John wearing her 2-piece purple bikini in 1971's Diamonds Are Forever. As a matter of fact, neither could Sean Connery. Connery was the first actor tasked with playing James Bond, and Diamonds Are Forever was his final film in the franchise. He made a habit of picking up the various actresses tasked with playing Bond girls, and Jill St. John is one that he hooked up with. Given her bikini-clad appearance as Bond girl Tiffany Case, Sean's pursuit of the actress makes a lot of sense. Jill St. John is still around and has been married to fellow star Robert Wagner since 1990. Mie Hama. While Diamonds Are Forever was Sean Connery's final film in the Bond franchise, his last appearance as the character was actually supposed to be in 1967's You Only Live Twice. That was the 5th film in the franchise. It featured some staggering eye candy in the form of Japanese actress Mie Hama, who played a Bond girl named Kissy Suzuki. By the time of shooting, Sean had grown incredibly disenchanted with portraying the character. Actor George Lazenby, who was a model with no prior acting experience, replaced him in the subsequent feature. His first and only Bond film was 1969's On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which wasn't a huge success. The producers begged Sean to come back for the next film, which ended up being Diamonds Are Forever. But they later found a good replacement for him in Roger Moore. Caroline Munro. The Spy Who Loved Me came out in 1977, and it was the 3rd film in the Bond franchise to feature Roger Moore. The Spy Who Loved Me included a striking and bikini-clad Bond girl. This was Caroline Munro's Naomi. Naomi wore a few different 2-piece bikinis over the course of the film. Other notable films she appeared in around the time included The Indomitable Mr. Phibes, as well as The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Halle Berry. There's a more recent Bond girl who turned heads with a bikini-clad appearance in a Bond film. Die Another Day remains notable for 2 reasons. First, it was the last James Bond film to feature Pierce Brosnan. For another, it was the franchise's 40th anniversary feature. As such, the producers made sure to include throwbacks to many iconic aspects of past entries. Of course, this included a throwback to the most important James Bond trope of all, the bikini-clad Bond girl. In Die Another Day, Bond girl Halle Berry could be seen sporting an orange bikini with a white belt. That made hers one of the more fashionable ensembles we've taken a look at. Though Die Another Day wasn't all that positively received, Halle Berry's looks were. She had just given her award-winning performance in Monsters Ball a year before. Now it's time to hear from you. Who was your favorite bikini-clad Bond girl? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content. By the way, if you haven't joined Facts First as a member yet, be sure to look below this video and click the join button. By becoming a paid member of Facts First, you'll get access to exclusive video content that you won't find anywhere else. This includes some of our more mature content that isn't suitable for public audiences, which includes topics like Hollywood actresses who posed for Playboy and some of the steamiest moments in movie history. Plus, you can enjoy these videos completely ad-free. Our biggest fans will notice they also get badges next to their name when they leave comments on our videos. We pay special attention to comments from our members, and so do other viewers. So if you want exclusive content from Facts First or inside access to discussions with other community members, click the join button to get started for just $4.99. There are hours of members-only videos waiting for you, with new videos added every month. And we're actively working on bringing even more features to help fans like you connect with other members and get more of your favorite content. Just click join, and we'll see you inside the membership tab.